Let's get cooking. Now, I've learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who is not feeling afraid, but he who conquers that fear. That was one of the many memorable quotes by Utata Mandela, who we are celebrating today with the help of his granddaughter, Dilega Mandela. We'll be making a legendary Phuthu beef stew and tomato and onion relish recipe that you definitely need to try. Now, this is classic, this is old school, this is oh so South African.
And also delicious, Palesa. The simplicity of it, Mama, I think that's what keeps people coming back. The fact that it's such a simple recipe, but yet so delicious. And to start it off, I'll be making the stew part of our Phuthu pap. Mama, you'll be making the relish for us, which is the tomato and onions. Bali, you're chopping up some spinach for me that's going to go into the stew. And to make this simple but very delicious stew, I've got some onions, some tomatoes, some beef. I've also got some salt and some beef stock. So that's where most of our flavoring is going to be coming from. We don't need any of those extra flavors because the meat itself is going to flavor it up for us.
Awesomeness. Now, for me, myself, I don't know about you, Dilega, but a recipe like this just brings back such nostalgic memories.
It does.
It just reminds me of Umamkhulu, Utatomkhulu, and everyone, Owasekhaya. I mean, what does a recipe like this, where does it take you to? Where does it transport you to?
Well, for me, Phuthu takes me back to Ekosivalo, where I grew up, when we would make Phuthu and eat with mass. And you know, but also with meat, because I think, you know, anything without meat is kind of, that meat is kind of boring.
Hey then. Okay, I always like to encourage everyone, all types of dietary requirements, whether you're a vegetarian, a vegan, a meat eater, clearly like we are. But I do agree, we have to have some meat in the dish.
Absolutely. I mean, a meal without meat is really kind of boring. I mean, where do you derive pleasure from? I mean, the sauces that come from the meat, not to talk about the protein.
Yeah, absolutely. So we love our meat here. What would you say is your favorite source of protein?
Meat, of course.
Meat, but as in, like, do you like a good steak? Do you like chicken? Do you love all the above?
You know, meat.
All of it.
All of it. You know, whatever kind of meat. You put crocodile, I'll eat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very adventurous.
Yeah. You put crocodile, you put ostrich. I love them ostrich burgers that you get from one of the shops. It's very nice and meaty and also very lean. Yeah, so that I love those. Chicken, of course. Beef, not so much, you know, because my mother had a butchery shop. And at that butchery shop, she sold beef. And that's all we ever ate at home. So it made me not like beef very much.
Sometimes it seems like it is like that. When you overdo it growing up, you almost want to run away from it when you are a little bit older. But I love the fact that you are adventurous. And speaking of all things protein and meat, Dumi, your meat station, how's it going?
It's looking all good. I was actually going to say to Mom Dilega, I'm guessing that's why we're making this particular recipe, because it had enjoyed so often and so much at home that even though you're not a beef fan, at least this is one of the few dishes that you still gravitate to every now and then.
Yes, I do. Especially with the beef, it's more your oxtail. I love me some oxtail.
Okay, I love definitely put oxtail into this. I think it would work. The oxtail and Phuthu any day.
Any day, any given day, any given day.
Right, so what I've done, Palesa, is I've also just added our tomatoes into our mixture here. So as you can see, we've got our onions, we've got our beef, we've got our salt sauteing over there. All we're going to do now is one of the reasons why dishes like this are loved is because you slow cook it low and slow. So all we're going to do now, cover it all up with our beef stew that we've reduced a little earlier.
Nice.
And then all I'm doing here, Pal, is I'm going to need you to add, give me your spinach, because what we do is we add the spinach a little towards the end, but we've got some that we made a little earlier here. So I'm just going to add it into this bowl.
Brilliant. And what I like about the fact that you're adding in that spinach within is stew. A lot of people enjoy their stews with different types of vegetables, but I do love a good, hearty dish of iron. I know some people are anemic. Within my family, my mom's anemic, my baby brother's anemic, and I also sometimes get the shakes, I'm not going to lie. Yeah. So having a whole lot of iron for me is very necessary.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I didn't think of the iron bit with the, you're correct, with the spinach.
It's necessary, yeah. And a lot of pregnant women, they say that they need to be diving in when it comes
Yeah,
to...
because the baby sucks out all the iron in you. I mean, you get, even in your nails, you get those white specks on your nails because of lack of iron when you're pregnant.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely learning here. I'm putting pen to paper mentally and trying to remember all the steps, all the tips, all the tricks to be able to create this delicious, easy-peasy recipe. But if you would like to follow on the same, just head over to our website. We have detailed it quite thoroughly, the ingredients list and the recipe, so you can make this magic at home. Dumi, how's it looking?
It's looking good, Balisa. So I'm also just going to start dishing up our putu here because the other meat that we made earlier is just cooking down. And the reason we add our spinach at the end, Balisa, is to enhance and make sure that that iron is not killed. Because some dishes, some ingredients, if you overcook it, you basically let all those nutrients out. We don't want to do that, and that's why we're only adding our spinach at the end. And then once that's done, I'm dishing up. Going to put that putu that we just made on, meat on top of the putu and just indulge.
Delicious. I also love the fact, Mam Dilega Wuti, you brought up amas.
Yep.
I think so many South African households, I think it's winter now, so let me know if people are eating, drinking amasi, but it's normally a summer treat for us in our household.
Even in our household.
I like that.
Granddad loved it. I mean, the thing is, our granddad, he was this man that could have every indulgence given to him, but he would love the simplest food. And at times, he would just crave umpok namasi. And that would be it.
I like that.
Yeah. And I mean, he would say, he would make this joke of, you know, one time he was invited to these places and they offered him that, okay, we are gonna give you a vodka on the rocks. And what would you have, Mr. Mandela? He says, well, I would have mercy on the pavement.
That is brilliant. What an incredible note to end this recipe. I mean, I hope that you were diligently paying attention. I mean, from the jokes to the memories, it is all about the food. Now, as it was said by Nelson Mandela, it always seems impossible until it's done. So one thing that is not impossible is this delicious recipe that we've made. So to get your hands on it, just head over to afternoonexpress.co.za. Now, Dumi, we are not done. We are having some heartiness in the kitchen. Truly winter warmers.
Definitely, Palesa, and I'm loving the fact that not only are we celebrating Tatma Diba, but we're doing it through food, because food is a love language in its own. And next we are making another favorite, Mama, which is chicken curry, right?
Yes, that was Big Mummy's recipe.
Okay.
I mean, which Mum Winnie, we called her Big Mummy, yeah. So that was Big Mummy's recipe.
Lovely.
I'm looking forward to that.